Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Well, Dave and Juan took a week off last week to work on their mental health. Just kidding. That's a lost cause. They're back this week and fully rested. Not any smarter, funnier, or any better at this stuff. But rested. You're welcome, America. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo.
Whoop-a-da-bum-bum-bum-bum. America, some of us are playing injured this week, but hey, we're back, and you are
You're welcome.
That's right. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
I'm Juan. And this is Dave and Juan.
4 times.
Oh,
It's that my voice is finally changing, Dave.
Oh my goodness,
whole
it's
life.
fun. Everybody hang on, y'all. Juan's going through his third puberty here on
That's right.
on the podcast this week. So right before we got on, Juan was saying he's a bit under. We were rested. We took a week off,
Yeah. You'd think.
supposedly to rest up, you know.
And the one thing that can hamper your ability to do a podcast, your voice.
Well, it's
That and,
well, thanks for giving me the excuse for hogging all the
and as you need it.
Hey, man, listen. It's like the place I was it yesterday, or day before? It was yesterday, because, oh, man, I don't normally work on a Saturday, but I did
dude, I was wondering when I saw that. I said, man, is he coming back?
I had a gig on a Saturday, and you got to appreciate this. It was a credit union.
All right.
Good, you're a credit union guy now, man. So I was hanging with some of your peers up in Georgia. It's a Tennessee, based credit union, but their retreat, their summit, their leadership meeting, whatever it was called, was in this really nice
Get out
resort.
of town, man.
Really nice resort up in, have you ever heard of Rising Fawn, Georgia?
No.
Neither had I. I've been
So weird. Look, man, we got some weird names in Louisiana. That's kind of yeah.
I've been in 48 states, Juan, and I know hundreds of cities. But I always get a kick out of when I show up somewhere and I ain't never been here.
What part of Georgia?
I'd have to find the map, dude. It's about 45 minutes outside of Chattanooga. So it's right on the
All right. So it's almost Tennessee.
But redneck ritzy, buddy. I mean, this resort is like 2 years old, and it's massive and it's super nice, and it's like, I walked in, I went, this place smells like a new resort. You got that fresh lumber smell in that thing.
Yeah, lumber paint smells like you can smell you can smell the newness out of the carpet when they freshly vacuum it.
Even your rooms, exactly. You walk into the rooms and you can tell the carpet still has some spring, some freshness in it. It's not
As
matted,
flattened by dampness.
Yeah. But my point was, so these guys wanted, I guess they're figuring out their agenda, and it was one of those things of, I'm not talking shop, but it's a pricing thing, right? People ask you, can you come out and do something? And you say, well, yeah, here's the price. And, I don't normally negotiate because life is too short. And, it's sort of one of those.
Once you negotiate, that becomes the price.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I say, well, this is what I normally, and I was looking, I always look for ways, friend discounts. And there was a reason why these folks were sort of tied to another organization that I do a lot of work with. And so I tried to find a way to give them not the brother-in-law discount I would give you on, but, and then it came across, and she was like, well, that's not quite, guys, just, we don't have that budgeted for like a 1 hour speech. We have an agenda to fill. And she says, could you do maybe 2.5 hours to which is always kind of funny. So I'm thinking, so we're really now negotiating not on how good or relevant.
2.5 times your time. You're charging for time.
Well, exactly. Right. So I'm thinking, so you're not really talking about how impactful or what I bring to the table is, can you feel? And then I laughed. I said, really? I said, doing 2.5 hours for me is way easier than doing an hour.
Yeah, it's just like you just go and you're
Well,
not cutting anything out.
you pull out the greatest hits, you do what you
Yeah,
got to do. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a group that's never seen you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, you can pull out stuff from 20 years ago and it's new to them, you know. But anyways, it was a pleasant time. But again, I'm not used to doing stuff on Saturdays, and I didn't get into late last night. So it's Sunday evening. We're about to start another week, and bro, it feels to me like it ought to be Friday. I'm fried, man.
Well, and then Labor Day week was weird to begin with. I don't know if it was weird to you because, it's just another day for you, but just it
Yeah,
always feels odd to be off on a Monday.
true that.
Close
And
the
then
whole week off. So
you were in Clemson,
I was
right?
in Clemson last week for the LSU South Carolina, not South Carolina, Clemson game. My wife is a Clemson alum, so yeah, that was one of the reasons we went up there.
I had forgotten that. I
Yeah.
remembered when I saw that, I was thinking, why in the world is Juan making a trip to Clemson? And I'm like,
The
oh
dude, it
yeah,
was
okay.
nice. It was like 65 in the morning. Um,
Yeah.
but you get there, so we flew in on Thursday night. And I've talked about it before. She makes these absurd, finds these, she would call them quaint. I call them absurd places to stay. Um, and it's called a postcard cabin.
A postcard cabin, or as Juan just said, a
Postcard cabin.
postcard cabin.
You could fit a postcard, or it could fit on a postcard. I think is why they
Really?
call it that. I said it was a shed, but it's basically a tiny house. But it's out like in the woods, so it's kind of cool. But my thing was, I said, if you were to rent a cabin in the Smoky Mountains on Timu, this is what you would get.
It's
It was just,
a
yeah,
Timu Smoky Mountains cabin.
yeah. But so it was kind of quaint. But yeah, so we hung out with some of our friends, and it's like, we're gonna go to dinner with my friends on Friday night, and my response was, why? And she said, well, I hadn't seen him in 30 years. I said, well, I hadn't seen him in it forever.
Been forever. I'm not missing anything.
Right. So how about you go?
I know.
And now I have to go.
Well, and I'm sure you play along.
No, yeah, I played the part, dude. That's my whole life.
Well, here's my thing about that. Where I don't and my wife knows that about me. Not the fact that I don't think I'm antisocial. I'm just not. You know.
I'm not outwardly social.
Yeah, I'm not looking for it. I'm happy. I'm the Mac Davis song. I cherish my own company. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
I'm cool. And what happens too is when you reconnect with old friends, it's easier and oftentimes more fun to reconnect without your significant other there. Because
Well,
there are things you want to talk about and crap you want to talk and people you want to talk about and stories you want to remember and say, did we really? And you don't feel comfortable
so
doing
I
that.
went
And the
to
same
the
thing, by the way, the same thing with my wife. If my wife's with her friends, I don't want to know. Like,
right. I'm fine. I don't need to be
I don't
around.
care what y'all did back then. In fact,
Yeah,
relive it, have fun.
yeah,
I'd prefer not to know.
yeah. And it's not that, I would probably have stories that I would be more unwilling to share
That's sad.
than she would. But we had, so the little Catholic school that I went to in Pankerville had a 150th anniversary celebration last night.
There you go.
So it was like they invited all the alumni
Did you
back.
get a brick? Did they put a brick in a
No,
walkway
no,
somewhere
I
with
was
your
gonna get
name
a
on it?
koozie, but those are $5, and I said no, bro. I'm
You
good.
passed on the koozie.
The I said y'all serving me wet beer because you want me to spend $5 on this koozie. I'm good. Um, but I told her, I said you're more than welcome to come, but if I'm being honest, I would prefer if you didn't. And I said because here's what's gonna happen: you're not gonna know anybody there. I'm gonna know everybody there, and I'm gonna feel bad and go, plot myself with you.
And we've learned this from recent activities that your wife is underwhelmed by people she meets
Right, right.
when she
There probably would have been a lot of people there who were smaller than she thought, like you.
Yeah, I'm not quite of the stature that apparently, so she'd have probably walked around thinking, "Juan, I always thought you went to school with more substantial people." And
All I know is the people that were there from my eighth grade class took a group picture, and I'm still the tallest.
dude, you're still alive. I
From
mean,
from first grade on, I've always been the tallest. So
really?
yeah,
I mean, dude, you're not a giant. I mean, how? I mean,
no, it was a small class,
I was
dude.
about to
Probably,
say, is Pankerville like the land of Munchkins? I mean, come
yeah,
on.
no, wasn't many people, but so I was stepping out into like the little, I don't know, the lobby area to go to the restroom, and I saw this girl that I know. She's well younger than me. Her mom taught at the school, but when I did some stuff at Nichols, like for canes and everything, she used to work at Nichols. She may still work at Nichols. I don't know. Uh, Lynn LeBlanc's niece. Remember Lynn
I'm gonna
from
just say yes, and I'll think about it later
yeah,
on.
Lynn from the radio station and from down the Bayou radio station, Boots and Lynn. You
Oh
remember?
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
So it's her niece.
All right.
So I told her, "Hey, Becky, how you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm glad to see you. Come on, I need you to help me with something." I said, "With what?" He said, "Just come on, just follow me. I need you to help me."
I'd be a hard no on that.
And
If you,
I mean, very demanding because
if you can't tell me what you need, I'm not going.
then this other person stopped me, and the girl says, he's coming back. He's got to help me with something." So the next thing I know, we're walking onto a stage. And I said, "What are we doing?" And she said, "You'll be fine. Just follow my lead." And so it's you know, you got to go to those things and they're trying to hit you up for money.
Yeah.
So it was that. And it was like call out each decade of classes and, okay, who can raise the most money, gives money. And it's like, oh, man, my voice is already shot.
I'm gonna take a hard pass on that, buddy.
Yeah. So I tell you what, I took a hard pass on after that was donating any money.
Don't pressure me, man. Don't
Yeah.
put
It's
that.
like, that's it. I just gave you my time.
There you go. There you go. I was trying to explain that to my wife on the way back from church today, and my son came with us to church, and I forget what we were talking about. I brought it up because the U.S. Open is on. We're
Hmm.
talking tennis, and I mentioned that I saw an interview with Andy Roddick was on a podcast, and he was talking to some sports guys, and one of he's on college football all the time, but the guy was asking Andy Roddick, "What's your problem with pickleball?" And he says, "All right, why you all get upset about pickleball?" And Andy Roddick was telling him, "I got no problem with pickleball. Just don't pretend it's a sport." Like he's like, "Don't you dare!" He's basically Andy Roddick is a U.S. Open champion. He was a professional tennis player. And he's a man. He's basically saying, "Don't you dare even mention that." In talking about like, oh, he's like the Rafa Nadal or the Federer of
Yeah.
pickleball. See,
Yeah.
he says,
It's like, you don't have a Tiger Woods of Frisbee
yeah,
golf.
exactly. It's like there's no such thing. And he said, and they were kind of laughing about it. He said, "Listen, man, I got nothing against it. Just don't ask me to watch it
Yeah.
or respect it." Okay. So, that's here and there. That was the other. Well, I posted on Facebook about that. So I was prior to being at. But we got to circle back to the Clemson thing, by the way. We went on the
Hmm.
path about your postage stamp.
My
House.
cabin.
We'll talk about the game, but I was asked to speak at this thing in Newport, Rhode Island, and I'd been there before. In fact, I had been to the exact resort that it was on. It's a place called Goat Island. Um, and by the time I was there, it's kind of funny. I guess the older I get, the more I either appreciate things or just. I used to never try. I would go somewhere and I'd stay in the place I was at, and that was it. I'd walk in the front door more often than not, and the next time I was walking out of that place was when I was leaving. All right,
Hmm.
and that's how I was before. Of course, the last time I was there many years ago, the Boston Celtics were having their preseason training nearby, so the Boston Celtics were staying in the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Okay.
not a huge place. I met Danny Ainge. I talked to Danny
Yeah.
Ainge for a little bit. Saw Doc Rivers. I took a picture with Glenn Big Baby Davis. Remember that
Yeah. Yeah. From
big fool.
LSU.
But anyway, so this time I had to rent a car, and let me go. I'm gonna go, and I went to the Tennis Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Right, the International Tennis Hall of Fame. And let me tell you something. It's nice. It's a nice place. And
But
Newport
a
is the
bit
kind of
incomplete.
Yes, because it had no mention at all of my being the only, to this day, regional champion from South Lafourche High School. But there, nowhere in there. But that's okay. You know, a lot of stuff on Federer, a lot of stuff on Nadal, a lot of stuff on Djokovic. Dave Martin, 1983 regional champ. Not a word. Not a
You
word.
probably had to get it out to make room for some of the other stuff.
Yeah. But Newport, you know, and I guess it makes sense. It's not all that far from Boston. It's pretty close to Boston and pretty close to, dude. I mean, I've been to like West Palm Beach. I've been to Beverly Hills. I've been to places, you know, think of the place, you know, and it's not even that it's that ostentatious, like and I think I use that. Did I use that word right? Okay.
Or ostentatious.
Yeah, you know what? I said it like Cajun see it. Bro, you know that ostentatious stuff? So some of like even the smaller houses, the like Cape Cod looking houses everywhere on the old streets, they all have signs on them because you walk up to them and they're all historic.
Oh, wow.
They're all named. It's the blah blah house, the blah blah house. So
in Rhode Island,
in Newport, Rhode Island, and then on the coast, oh my goodness. So that there's a breakers there. Well, like, you know, you hear the breakers. Well, one of them is like this big thing. Some of these homes, dude, it's like the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the one that I actually popped into and bumped around a little bit was called it was the Doris, I think, Doris Duke house. Duke. And I'm like, massive place. And I'm like, it's a museum now, but you can walk the grounds, and the grounds, it's probably like 25, 30 acres on the ocean. Okay. Massive thing. And I went read up on this person, and it's like, oh, Duke, where'd she get her money? And she was the only daughter. She was known back in the day as the richest little girl in the world. Her dad founded, it was like American or something, in tobacco, and eventually became Duke Energy. And there's a little university named after them. Yeah. Duke.
Wow. So was that their summer home?
I don't know. It was one of her homes. She had one in Hawaii. She had one in Beverly Hills. She had one. You're sitting there thinking, it's almost like another planet. It's like, what do you do? And, you know, when you're worth like a few $100 million back in 1935, right? Yeah. So anyhow, I digress, but that's what Newport is like. So there's the International Tennis Hall of Fame, and there's a tennis club there. And supposedly it's a public court. You can pay a lot of money to play there. I'm thinking lessons. And I was thinking, I'll bet you if you walked on to like Augusta, you'd feel a little bit intimidated by how, not so much fun, but just like, you know how there's some people that can carry themselves in a way that you just.
Well, the pomp and circumstance.
Oh, where you just don't belong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There are places that they don't have to tell you don't belong.
Yeah.
But you don't belong. Well, I'm walking
I drove through Duke campus one time, and I felt like, okay, bro, you better put this thing in reverse because somebody's going to run you off of here soon.
Well, okay, but at least Duke, you get some, you know, scholar athletes. You got some people. Yeah. Not everybody's freaking rich. Okay, I'm walking around the tennis club, the Hall of Fame tennis club. So imagine who's out there playing tennis at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. And here's the deal, too. It's all white. It's like Wimbledon. Everybody has to wear white.
Oh, everything. Yeah.
Shoes, socks, everything. Bro, I told my wife, first of all women. And probably 25, 30 of them out there playing doubles, doing whatever. They were probably all within 5 or 10 years the same age. All I'm guessing in their upper 40s to lower 60s, right? And it's almost like it just – you talk about out of place. I'm just walking around like I felt like I should be serving drinks to people. But I mean, fun that, and when you run into the locals there, you realize genetics play into things, because along the way, super rich people end up having really good looking offspring.
Well,
because they got the money to be very selective in.
Well, it's who you reproduce with, but then you got the best skincare products, get the best hair care products.
I mean, just
best
like
clothes.
There were various people, or it's people that have done that elsewhere, and now they're spending time at one of their places in Newport.
Yeah.
But exactly, it's like you're walking around in some places sometimes, and it's Like, am I on a TV show? Or is this like a magazine shoot? Like, did this 5'10" blonde 20-something-year-old in like a yoga pants walk by? Like, what is this at 11 o'clock on a Thursday? Is that how it
That's how it rolls there, bro.
There you go. There you go. But that was fun. Good good time there. The most interesting stop I had, and it was totally accident. I'm walking around this neighborhood, and it's sort of near downtown. It wasn't that far from my park, and I went to the Tennis Hall of Fame, and I'm just walking some of the side streets. I mean, they're all beautiful, and it's all these Cape Cod kind of homes, kind of stacked up, on the hill. And I'm thinking, I bet you there's a church. I think I saw a Catholic church on the way in. So I like doing that when I'm in different towns. Let me go. I want to go see. And I figured it's an old place, got to be an old church.
Yeah.
It looked like a pretty nice old church. So the sad part is in America these days, y'all, if you travel in most major cities, you can't get into the churches because we live in a degenerate time and there are animals.
Right.
They're just awful human beings out there and they just can't keep the churches
Pray
open.
outside.
Yeah, you can't keep the churches open. But I walk up to this one, and it's St. Mary's Parish. It's the oldest parish in Rhode Island, in Providence, whatever. And I look, and it's a lovely church, big, tall stone. And I start reading the sign, but not all that much, just seeing what year it was. And then I saw on the side, there's another sign that says open for visits, 10 to 2. I'm like, oh, it's cool. So I walk around. Again, beautiful. Walk in the back of the church. It's gorgeous. I mean, you can say what you want about, back in the old days. The old Catholic churches and cathedrals are just some of the most.
Oh, dude, the architecture is amazing. It's the the church I grew up in is like that. My dad's been in the attic of it, and he says if you just see how all of these things are, joist together and everything. It's amazing.
Well, this church is 170 something, maybe closer to 200 years old. And the inside, not just the way it's constructed, just the it's so ornate, it's beautiful. So and there's this couple, older couple there, and they're, hey, welcome, and I was the first by myself walking in there, and you're, hey, and how you doing, and where you from, and I'm talking, and he starts telling me about the church and how old it is and everything, and he says, yes, feel free, walk around, take pictures, do whatever, and then another couple walks in behind me, so he starts talking to them. So I walk over about like 20 feet. Toward the back, and there's a confessional back there. Then it's open, and then on the side there's a picture, like a big poster, a picture of a couple. And I walk up, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then I read the sign. That's where JFK and Jackie were married.
Oh, wow!
So I turn around, and the other couple that had just walked in, and she was, was walking by, and I said, "Did you know that JFK was married in this church?" And she was like, "What?" And I look at
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Is that where she from?
Yes, they have all kinds of property there. I think she was raised in Newport. Okay. So I look at the guy, the nice old man, he's probably my age, the nice guy who was, I said, dude, was JFK and Jackie married here? He said, oh, yeah. I said, man, you need to lead with that. That needs to be the first words out of your mouth. He says, oh, I just thought you knew.
That should be welcome to the marriage place of JFK and Jackie O.
So, and I told him, I said, and I even joked about that in my presentation the next day. I took some pictures and I had a post. I said, I told him, I said, dude, I can increase your traffic in here tenfold in a week. What are you doing? You got to take that Jackie and JFK picture. That needs to be outside underneath your sign.
Get your billboard.
I said, you got a fundraiser going on right now? They do. They have a big fundraiser because, the building's old and every few weeks, little pieces of brick and stuff fall off. And I'm like, and they had a collection of them on a table for a visual. I said, you need to take that, grind it up, put it in little lockets and sell that. Sell that to people who want a piece of the church that JFK was married.
Camelot.
You want to make more money? Go mark in front of the altar where they stood. Charge people $10 to stand there and take their picture. It was also well known. They were always in Newport because she was from there. Pew 10. They always sat in Pew 10. That was in. And I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, look, far be it from me, right, to tell you guys.
Take the godliness out of the church.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, hey, look, Father. Or I wasn't talking to the priest. I said, listen, I tell you what, you take care of them when they're in the building. Let me get them in the building. I told that to the group the next day. I said, hey, here's the good news, y'all. You don't have to be a Catholic to go check that church out. But if they're doing their job, you might be a Catholic walking out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'm
You
saying.
say go there and lead with, hey, I heard Jackie O and JFK got married here.
100%, man. So I was like, wow,
That's
kind of
wild.
cool. Kind of cool. But there you go. To get back to the Clemson game. So you were in Clemson,
Okay.
you did all that. LSU finally wins their first game.
Yeah.
All right. And then didn't look too good yesterday.
Dude, I didn't, because I wasn't here last night. I actually bet against, I don't bet a lot of games. I bet the spread was like 37.5.
Dude, never. Never.
And my thought was they were letting Nussmeier come out, one series the second half. I said, all right, so I bet against it. And I mean, I won, but he played the whole game.
They didn't play well. I mean, they had that, hey, listen, my son Abe won money. Well, he won my money because I'm the one that fronted it with him. LSU was favored like 42 or 44 against Nichols when they played Nichols, and Nichols hung, man.
Dude, Nichols hung through midway through the third quarter. That was a heck of a game.
Now, Nichols stunk it up last night, apparently. I didn't see
Bro,
it.
I saw that. I looked, I checked the score because I saw your post that Abe was working it. So
My
did
son,
he have to go back to Baton Rouge?
Yes, he did. So, bro, that's he's he had to go up to he said lives in Thibodeau, went up to, and he's staying with Rick and Gail and in Baton Rouge when he's there. So he had to go up on Friday. He had to record 2 high school games, and then get back to you don't record the whole games, you get clips. Get back to the studio to get on the air by maybe 10:30.
Probably.
It starts at 10, but then they get him in at 10:30.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, they had him take a station van and a camera to Nichols, and they wanted him to record the whole game and the post conference. So he didn't get back to Baton Rouge. He didn't get to the Baton Rouge station until almost 11:30. So I don't know when the footage.
Now, do they typically cover that, or is that just because of him?
No, I think it's because of him. But the funny thing is, it didn't do him any favors because during school he could probably walk to the stadium.
Yeah.
But last night he had to drive from Baton Rouge to Nichols. But look, I'm like,
I know, it's great. Well, I saw a little spot this morning on social media that it was like from all the KNSU camera operators at the game.
oh, okay.
And I said, what the heck? Abe ought to be in there just with his WAFB camera.
The representing. But I got to kick you. Would laugh at this. I mean, and this is just younger generation, and I get it. He was probably in a hurry after the game to try to get back to Baton Rouge to you spent your entire day filming this stuff. Now, to me, it's like, man, they ought to be able to just like digitally send that stuff. But okay, whatever. But he's leaving Thibodeau, and he calls me, and I could tell that's always a bad thing, right? I mean, Abe never calls me, but he calls me, and he just, I don't know if he cursed or not, but he was kind of flustered. He's like, okay, they got me driving some ancient Ford Escape van. He says, where are the lights on this thing? And I thought, man, son, you kind of grew up bougie when
when you got to turn the lights on and turn them
none of your
off.
your vehicles have always just been auto.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know, I'm like, it's kind of fun. I guess it's quicker to call me than to YouTube it. But
I'm sure it's on the stem. You just got
something like, and I was trying to explain. He goes, I can get them on, but they won't stay on. It's like, well, that's because you're pulling it. So that's sort of how you give a flag. But I said, probably on there, you got to turn it. And he's like, and then he was literally, I think, out of the driveway, sitting on Ormond, waiting to get onto Audubon. Like, okay, he wasn't going to leave until he could get headlights on.
Well, I would think. And the problem is, like, everything like a picture for, but it don't look like a picture of lights. It's, because it's opposed to just saying lights on.
Yeah. Well, he got it. I mean, if he figured it out, he got there. But I was like, bro, I said, just experiment, man. I don't know. It's funny. He says, okay, I can get the light on by holding it, but I can't hold this thing all the way.
It's going to flip when you turn.
You're not supposed to, son, but appreciate.
That's funny.
Appreciate, he did it.
Well, a couple more things from Clemson. So we were sitting on the Friday when we went into the little downtown area, which is just on the edge of campus. First of all, I was shocked at how many Clemson people were walking around on Friday, but not like kids, like, middle-aged people. And I'm like, don't you people freaking work? And
It's like a holiday.
Clemson is actually, the city is about the size of Thibodeau
Yep.
as far as the number of people. There's 30,000 people, I think, at the university and about 20,000 people in the town.
I was there within the year. I was in
Okay.
Clemson. Yeah.
So they said everybody's got to drive in for the game. So they're coming in from elsewhere. So they just, big game like this, Labor Day weekend. Yeah, they make a long weekend out of it. So we go to lunch and we're just sitting in this place and it's taking forever, but I don't care. Where else I got to go? But I see this dude and it looks like about a 7 or 8 year old son on the side of us. And I could overhear him, see what he was doing. And the dad's got the salt and pepper shakers. And he's basically explaining blocking schemes to the son.
Jeez.
And as a first, that's kind of cool. Good use of, visual aids. But then he goes into what's holding. And he's going on and on and on about everything about football with this kid who looks totally bored. Then I looked at the dude's hand and he said he didn't have a wedding ring on. So I told Joey, I said, this is a divorced dad. He hadn't had that kid in forever, but he's got him for the long holiday weekend. And now he's trying to make a moment.
Oh, man. Son, I don't see you all during the week, so I got to turn you into a football player.
Yeah, I got to jam it. I know you have a lot of memories with that stepdad, none with me, but we're going to create one right here.
That might not be the case at all, Juan.
That was in my mind what the story was.
Could have been. Could have been.
then
Well, I hope that young man had a moment. I hope
so.
Because it wasn't remembering a win because LSU.
No. On Saturday we went to this place. It's the Esso Club, which I guess is kind of famous there. Clemson started off as a military school,
Okay.
or cadet school, whatever. And so it was an Esso gas station, and that was the only place where the cadets could go and buy beer. So they'd hang out there, and they eventually just stopped selling gas and started selling just beer.
All right.
But so now, a lot of people hang out there. And so we went over there, and one of Joey's friends was there with her parents. So, you got to wait in line to get in. Some dude comes from the line where you go in, and he said, "Are y'all together?" And there was like some other couple behind us from LSU. And so I said, "Sure." He said, "Okay, y'all come with me. Y'all be my VIPs. You can just skip the line." And I'm thinking, all right, it's gonna be sweet, but all I got was to skip the line. I still had to buy stuff. But so apparently the people had moved tables after they ordered to get more in the shade. Well, there was an old waitress there who was ticked off that they moved because it was her table that they were at.
Yeah, man. You in her pocket.
Yeah. So she was just basically ugly to them for the rest of the time. And I mean, outwardly ugly. But then at one point, so again, this is Joey's friend's parents. So I'm guessing they're late 70s, early 80s. And the mother corners the waitress and said, "I just want you to know we've been in this town since Thursday and everybody has been nice to us except you. You're the biggest B I've ever encountered." And I'm like, all right, this is nice. Go ahead, throw it down, mama.
Juan getting a show.
Yeah.
Getting a show. Yeah, you're right. She is the biggest bee I've ever encountered. Take that, lady.
But then in the front of us at the game, we had LSU fan who would not shut up.
I hate those people, man.
And standing up and he kept screaming, "They don't want it." And I'm saying, okay, what is that supposed to mean? That's saying if we win, they just didn't care.
It is
over and over, kept just jawing, even when LSU was losing, like pushing, like tapping on the shoulders of Clemson fans.
Those are the guys that just need to get jacked, man.
And I don't think he was drunk. And I said, dude,
that's even worse.
Annoying everybody around you. Can you not just stop?
Well, the guys that I tailgate with for the Texans, That's the running joke. Why we have like the nosebleed of the nosebleed. It's sort of like the tailgating experience is great. That's fun. That's all, great food. You're doing all that first class. Comes time to get in the room, get in the stadium. We always joke about that. You want to come hang out with us? It doesn't matter what ticket you got. You were never going to get a ticket. Like, trust me, they don't card you. You just keep climbing until you hit the roof. There you go. But it's fun, and that's a section. But because of that, the section that we sit in usually has a lot of fans from the road, right?
Okay.
I mean, so but it's usually great. Like it's actually fun to be sitting with fans from the other team if they're cool and you're cool.
Right.
You kind of go back and forth and you joke and whatever. But you got some, you Texans fans, and I think Texans are pretty good fan base, but obnoxious. And it's usually the ones that you don't see that often. Like they bought, what I'm saying? They bought a ticket. And then you want to, like, you're cheering, hoping a visitor knocks their nose off. I mean, like, dude, shut up. Like, what are you accomplishing? You are sitting 1,000 yards from the field. You got
right.
nothing.
That's what the dudes that he was yelling at kept saying, "Are you on the field? Why do you even care?" And
what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
How pathetic is your life that you are emotionally tied, apparently, to, and then what feeling do you get antagonizing someone else?
Right. And I even said, dude, these guys are freshmen, because they didn't get seats in the student section. So they bought tickets up there. They're freshmen at the university. And this guy was probably 35 years old. I said, they're teenagers, man. Leave them alone. And the dude was with his parents, cussing like a sailor, dropping every word you can in front of his mom.
That makes me crazy too, man.
And at one point I said, bro, don't say that in front of my wife. Stop now. And so then I kept trying to make nice with the Clemson kids. And one of them even said, I got the two extremes next to me. One, the biggest jerk in the world, and one, the nicest fan in the world.
But let's be honest, okay? So that may be true. But let's be honest, LSU fans. Your famous song is obnoxious.
Dude, he kept singing that.
Hate
that to me is embarrassing.
That's right.
To no end.
What's it called? Neck? Neck is
Neck.
what it.
Let the band play Neck.
Okay,
and
here's the deal, y'all. So you can cry me a river, and if anybody's ever rude to an LSU, and don't get me wrong, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that they sing something so obnoxious.
Well, it used to be
vile.
it used to be just in the student section. Because I went to LSU, I still have season tickets. I've talked about that here. I just sell them every year. So I've gone to a gazillion LSU home games year after year after year. I never understood it or heard it until I worked with somebody who was talking about Neck. And I said, well, what's the deal with this Neck song? Yep. And she told me, and she was probably early 40s and was all into it. And I was saying, that's embarrassing, man. Stop this. They're singing it, yelling it, singing it as you're walking into the stadium.
So I don't know. They're not going to listen to us, but hey, LSU fans, be better. Don't do that.
Right. It's like I even told.
Cheer for your team. You don't need to sing a pornographic song.
Right. We tailgated with some people from Clemson with Joey's friends, and I said, I apologize to y'all. I think that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, and this is not. We do sound like a couple of old. We always sound like old guys, but here's the deal, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just not my demographic, or I'm just too old to appreciate that. It gets a little old every now and then about the big bragging thing about how much we drink when we go, like, LSU comes to town and, oh, my God, they set the records for drinking. I'm like,
yeah, bars run out of beer at 9 o'clock. That's a way to be proud.
Yay. Good. That's right. Didn't we also, Louisiana, lead what we led in last time? STDs and gonorrhea?
STDs. We were first in chlamydia. I think second in other STDs.
Louisiana coming to town, man. We'll outdrink you, and we've got the most chlamydia, apparently.
So we'll leave a little bit behind.
Something to remember us by, y'all.
No, I hate that. Clemson fans are great. I mean, a great tailgate and walking around. They're super polite.
Well,
But it just takes,
no,
a few jerks.
we're talking about all this, and we're just time stamping this. We're doing this on a Sunday. You said, Juan and I took a week off last week. I myself tried to get rested and do some work. Juan decided to go get sick and lose his voice, but it's as a personal, it's a
To each
personal
his own.
choice. But as we start right now, NFL season kicked off officially.
Yep.
We got on it. We just started this right after the Saints had a stunning, thrilling loss.
Hey, dude, I wasn't that out.
I didn't see it because it's not playing here, and I'm not paying you.
Wasn't that terrible?
I'm not
Wasn't as
paying for the
terrible as I thought.
YouTube situation.
No,
I think
no, I
YouTube's
hear you.
ridiculous what they want. But yeah, it looked like they made it a
Yeah, it
respectable
was
game.
competitive. Rattler did okay. Defense had something to be desired. But yeah, well, all right, it was competitive.
Dollar General Mahomes did okay,
Yeah.
or Timu.
I don't know, bro. Dollar General Mahomes is kind of falling off. They lost whatever they played Wednesday or Thursday or Friday night. They lost.
I gotta admit this. I for some reason, I get more enjoyment out of Kansas City losing
Oh God, yeah,
than in any of my teams winning.
yeah.
Like as we speak right now, the Texans are playing, and I don't even know what's going on. We're gonna be finished in a few minutes, and I'll go down and probably catch the second half. But yeah, so the season's going. I wish it had been different. We have all kinds of things going on. We'd have normally tried to make the first game of the year down in New Orleans. It's my boy's birthday week, but instead we're here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're here, but so hope y'all had a good time in New Orleans today, everybody. Glad the Saints didn't
Didn't suck. Not terrible. Not put it this way. Not as much as I thought.
they didn't suck too bad. I was I don't know why I jotted this down because I don't watch TV very often, right? So now I guess I'm watching local. I watch it when there's a hurricane, in the Gulf or around sports. Okay. But I was in Newport, Rhode Island. I get to my hotel late. I had to do a connection. It's one of them long days, man. Crimea River, I get it. People I know it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's the kind of thing that you sound weird complaining about certain things, but whenever you got to
Well,
fly.
here you go. I got to go to Shreveport this week, so there.
Okay. You're going to drive to Shreveport. What is that?
I don't know. I'm riding 3.5 hours.
Okay.
I got to spend the night. I got to spend the night there.
But look, so I'm leaving. I got to get to Newport.
Snow, Rhode Island. Put it
Right,
that
Rhode
way.
Island, and you can't get there straight from Houston, so I got to fly to D.C., which is a crap airport. And I'm not talking about Reagan. I'm talking about, I guess it's Dulles or whatever.
Dulles.
Gosh, crap. So you just fly, airline, get there, gotta wait, layover, get there. I have to drive 40 whatever minutes to this resort, and I'm just tired. And get to my room though. And I don't watch local. The most entertaining thing to me is the local TV because they have local TV commercials. I love local TV commercials, man. I love it. And there was one I jotted down. I even took a picture of the screen because I thought this is perfect. I guess it's a husband and wife. And it's in an area, I don't know if they got money, not money, or whatever, but it's so apparently they got their shop, and it's Joe's Place Perfume and Lori's Little Ones, which is like a pet supply kind of deal. So this shop, and it's so funny to see these two people, husband and wife, so we say, hang on a second, what your product lines are various perfumes, perfumes and colognes,
Right.
and pet supplies.
Right. It's like, how do you sample the perfume? Because it smells like dog.
I don't know. I just thought, God bless America. I hope that couple, I hope they've been married for 30 years and they married for another 30. I'm like, man, babe, we need to go into business. I'm not doing what you're doing. We don't have to. We're just going to put them.
We're going to co-rent.
We're going to put them together. All right. And then we're going to just run TV commercials. Hey, are you running low on canoe or high karate? Come on in here. While you're here,
While you're here, grab some wet dog food.
get some milk bones. You know that church, that St. Mary's Church, that's at JFK got married in. So after, I'm just walking around. It's again beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm of the mind, and when I'm visiting a place that I've never been, whatever, I'll walk until somebody tells me I can't go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the grounds, and I'm just, If there's no sign that says you can't enter,
Don't. That means you can.
so I walk around the back of the church, and again, lovely area, and I'm looking at various things, and then I see this gate, and the gate is only, I mean, 3 feet high. I mean, it's a small gate, like about, right? And it says, beware, dogs on premises, beware of dogs. And I thought,
Can't be a big dog.
2 Great Danes. That, and one of them just a big
Bro, they
he-
could step over that fence
dude,
without hitting a knee.
he walks over and just puts his chin on the fence. And the older one behind him is barking. And then I'm just like, my thing is dogs can pick up vibes. So I'm just like, hey, what's up, buddy? It's okay. Oh, you're gonna, and that's always funny too. You start talking like you're talking to a baby. What's up with you? What's up with
Good
you?
boy.
You
You're
big
such a good boy.
You're such a good boy. You could jump that fence and kill me.
Thank you for not.
I would make the paper, Random Cajun mauled by Saint Mary. I'd probably make the sign like right after the part about JFK getting married there. Oh, and Dave Martin tragically mauled by Great Danes while he was talking like a baby to them behind the church.
Got him in the throat. So, talking about the airports again. So we flew out of New Orleans to go to Clemson. And you've flown through New Orleans since they've got the quote unquote new airport, right?
The new airport
got one security, whatever gate.
Right.
So we're in that line, and I'm not far in the line. I haven't been in there for real long. I'm still on the outermost lane. And some dude of non-American descent, not that matters, came and asked the guy in front of me. He said, "Hey, can I cut the line? My flight's about to start boarding, and I'm late." Well, first of all, he's not like it wasn't his connection was late or anything, because he's just walking up. So the guy said, "Yeah, whatever." And so I said, "Well, you ain't cutting me, bro." And he looked at me and I said, "You're not cutting me." I said, "If you cut him, you cut me. You go somewhere else." And so he showed me his phone to say, my flight's about to start boarding. And I said, "I don't care. I got 2 hours. You should have got here earlier." Then the people behind me let him cut. So now the dude's standing behind me.
Oh, that's perfect. So,
and I'm telling Joey, I said, "Watch, this dude's going to sit on the side of me on the plane." He didn't, but
oh man, that's perfect, boy. I know you stand up and make a stand, and you hope that other people support you.
Right.
He ends up standing right behind you.
Yeah,
you ain't cutting me, bro. And again, this is gonna be something that maybe like 3% of the listeners and watchers out there understand or pay attention to with airports. Dude, TSA sucks so bad. And continues to. And over the years, they've made us pay for what used to be free. Like, you pay, like I pay for TSA pre and then clear supposedly gets me through stuff. They figured out a way to make clear where you're supposed to just walk up and be the quickest possible. They found a way to slow that down to the point that you're almost just, shy of not having to take everything out of your bag and everything. There's no use to it. And I don't know if it's just something new, but I am not kidding when I say when I went through which airport, I think they must have took my picture 5 times.
Well, it looks like clear in New Orleans just basically flows into the same space.
Oh, no, it does. It all does. It's supposedly when you have like a massive line of people, you go to clear and you officially cut the line. They walk you. And if you're clear with TSA pre, they send you to the pre-line, which means you can go through and you don't have to take your laptops out of your bag. Well, nobody has to take their shoes off anymore. They changed that. But just awful. And then I went through it, and I can't believe I wasn't flagged coming back through Nashville. That's one of these weird trips. I hit Houston, D.C., Providence, Atlanta, and Nashville. I saw a bunch of airports this go round. Nashville, I don't know if it was like new guys on the job. Bro, I'm going through security, and have you been through these airports where your bag goes through this big tube? It looks like a rocket engine, and it sees everything, and then it comes out, and it's on the rollers, and it gets to like a pivot point. And if they want to flag it, it goes left
Oh wow.
behind glass. If they don't flag it, it goes straight. So you're watching your bag, and if your bag comes through, okay, you clear. If it goes on the other side, you gotta wait. Nashville, whatever time, they must have had 6 bags. These guys were flagging everything, and there was one guy who did. I don't want to be mean. He didn't look like he wasn't on academic scholarship. Okay.
Probably his first powerful position.
Well, he was doing the opening of the bag stuff. It's the other guys that were flagging it, and look, and you could tell because it's so slow. You just like I'm standing there with a bunch of like regular travelers, and you just like crap. If your bag, they just added 15 minutes to your wait because it's going to take that long for these couillons to go through it. But I had that happen to me about a month or so ago. My bag gets flagged. They pull it over, and she's going through whatever and got the gloves on and looking again and whatever. And then she just eventually says, it's okay. And I wouldn't let it go. I'm like, what were you looking for? Well, no, I can't say. No, help me out here.
Yeah, because if I brought something I wasn't supposed to, I want to make sure I don't bring it again.
I'm just saying because this bag with its contents has been through probably 100 airports.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, what did y'all see? What made you? But you got to be careful with these idiots because, like I told you, the time I was going through and the guy he was double checking really hard on a bag I had, and I had some protein bars in it or something, and he was like staring at it. I said, "What, you think I got C4?" And he went, "Well, I guess now we're going to find out." In fact, you said it means I got to check. I'm like, all right, go ahead. Although I do think that anybody who's actually trying to get C4 on a plane is probably not going to call it out. Your mic's still off. You coughed, but your mic's still off. And Juan rejoins the podcast.
I just like to, whenever I go through the little security, the little machine that x-rays your body and you got to put your hands up and stuff, I like to just turn around and say, hands up, don't shoot.
Stop that.
Yeah.
Well, talking about shooting, you see where, look, I support most of the stuff that goes on. And I actually kind of support this one. I get nervous all of a sudden. Trump's just signing some executive order this, executive order that. You saw they did something that I actually kind of agree with. They changed the name of the Department of Defense back to what it was.
Yeah, Department of War.
Department of War. And you know why? I love it. I love it because you know what? We ain't defending jack. That's not what we do, right? And you talk to anybody, we're not there. We go to war, and I love that.
That was a passive. We don't want to seem like we're bullies.
And that's what you want. You want people to know, like, no. If we have to be somewhere, it's war.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're not defending because they're not defending America. That's a lie. Now, I'm not saying like the men and women are doing that. They are defending, standing up for, but no. When we, war. Why are you there? Well, we're here to blow up some stuff and kill some people.
Yeah.
And then
Limbaugh used to do that. They said, war is about breaking stuff and killing stuff.
And as soon as we figure out that you do that and then you leave and you don't pay to rebuild what you went blow up, because that's the scam. That's the people that make all the money. There's a ton of money in going blow stuff up, and then there's a ton of money in rebuilding what you blow up. That's an industry,
contract,
man.
Get one in whenever that crap ends with Russia.
Ukraine?
Get a contract in Ukraine, a construction company contract.
I told you, and I mean, it'd be a long time ago. This is the 222nd episode of this, but years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was in Gillette Stadium. A friend of mine lined us up. It was on my son's birthday. I think it was the 17th birthday, maybe 18th birthday. And I was watching the MLS New England team play whoever they were playing, and it was crazy seats. It was on the field. It was not in the stadium. It was on the field. You had there were signs that said "Watch for flying balls." I mean, like it was It's like maybe 2 or 3 rows of seats that surrounded the actual playing field, and then the stadium was behind us. And the guy I was sitting next to, again, I'm sitting. This was a bank, it's kind of a big bank friend of mine. It's always some fun chalks. It's always some fun chalks in these seats. So I was playing the fun chalk. It was me and my, feeling pretty good. But the guy next to me, who I guarantee you was as liberal as the day is long. I mean, this is a Boston-based liberal dude, and I don't know what else he owned, but during the conversation came out he owned an ammunition factory. That's what this guy did. They manufactured.
Yeah, and so he's all against ammunition. I'm sure he was, second Amendment opponent.
And I remember sitting there thinking, I bet you have voted for. I mean, going back, we were talking about JFK before. I bet you have voted straight line blue your entire life, and you are a rich dude selling bullets to the government. Nice, nice.
Yeah, he wasn't selling to the local, ammo store.
No. He's probably a guy that I promise you would have been for like gun control.
Yeah.
You don't need those guns. Trust the people who charge you property taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm loving that. That's getting steam across the country, man. Shout out to Ron DeSantis. I don't know what his future is, and I don't know. I don't live in Florida, but let me tell you something. Because DeSantis is leading a thing about, hey, we got to get rid of property taxes. Elon Musk is weighing in on this. And let me tell you something. I said this before. I live in Texas. Love Texas. Texas is great. We got jokes. Our governor's a joke. I'm sorry. They play a game. Our property taxes are insane. And basically what it ends up being is you are renting your land and your home from the government.
Yeah.
Flat out. You never own it. And God forbid.
I think I mentioned before, years ago, a neighbor of mine moved to Houston, and he was talking about how much more affordable the homes were there. I said, look at the property tax, bro.
Yep. Same thing. Oh, we got no state income tax. All right, fine. They kill you on the property tax.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, when I'm elected, we'll get all that.
That's right.
I just, what you going to do? You know what, man? I appreciate you playing injured this week, dude. I mean,
I'm here for it.
We got this far along, and you know what? But before it totally goes, because I think Juan's had about 7 cough drops since we started. I mean, he's hanging in there. We're gonna push the button, get on out of here, see if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape in the sky. We hope it did. If you want to reach us, we're not hard to find, y'all. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com.
And right here, wherever here happens to be.
You somehow did something to be hearing or looking at us right now, right? Do that again. Do it again. And we tell you every week. It's not every other week when we take a week off, but whenever we're here, we tell you. It's not a hint, suggestion, or implication, y'all.
It's a freaking mandate, bro.
From Dave and Juan to you, it's a mandate. Go live your best life. Take your best shots. Do it. Hope you had a great day today. Rinse and repeat. Do it again. Today wasn't fantastic. You know what? Hang in there.
That's right, man. Even if you're a Saints fan, hell, I bet you today was better than you thought it would be.
They got the Saints pegged to be the worst team in the league, and apparently they hung in there. Apparently it was, apparently it was relatively entertaining, and then who knows? That's one of the advantages of having such low expectations on that.
Right.
You could be like Joe Burrow, who was my fantasy football quarterback, who apparently stunk on ice today, but they won. They won by 1 point.
Yeah, but that didn't do anything for you.
No, but you know what? I'll forgive Joe for this one, but I didn't see any of the footage, but they stunk. I think he threw for like 100 and something. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, I kept checking. It wasn't good.
Not good. So come on, Joe. I need you, bro.
Not as bad as Tua Tagovailoa, or however you say his name.
Oh, I didn't even see what happened with those guys.
Yeah, he got stomped.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go watch that in a little while. But yeah, guys. So it's fun being back with you, and I think we're back on schedule. We
are. And my voice will be back by next week.
Y'all go live a great life. We're going to try to do the same. We'll get together next week, do it again, and talk about what happened. Until then, everyone have a fantastic one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. So we are at the credit union. We're launching this new debit cards. Now we do like school pride debit cards. And we're doing one with the Southeastern University Alumni Federation.
Okay.
So, we were shooting video for that to do a promo this week. And so we had their mascot come out to the local branch in Hammond, and which meant our mascot had to be there. Well, we didn't have anybody to do the mascot that day. So I said, whatever, I'll do it. So I was Petey the Pelican for about 30 minutes. And this costume not the easiest thing to put on. I'm not the smallest guy. But it's got, all of the fur / feathers at the top. And then you got these big leggings like that, look like pelican legs, and then these big duck feet shoes. So, and from having been in the bank, so the bathroom's in the back, like near the vault, which is very secure to get to. I don't have, a key card to get me back there. So I'm trying to get as much as I can before I go out there, because I got to get somebody to help me like zip it up and stuff. But so I got the costume like up to my waist, and then I said, okay, I got to sit down and put these leggings on and stuff. So, I mean, there's no place to sit. I'm in the bathroom, so I sit on the edge of the toilet. And no big deal, worked fine. So, I got the leggings on. Now I stand up and pull the rest of it up, and I look down between my feet, and I see a stream about the consistency and flow rate of peeing. And I said, oh my God, did I become incontinent? Am I having an episode? I'm that age. Then I realized when I sat on the edge of the toilet, the big pelican tail went down in the toilet water. So now instead of going out and getting somebody to help me zip this thing up, I got to get somebody to come help me. I'm dying laughing. I think it's hilarious. To come help me clean it up. And my boy from Nichols said, just stand still. And he grabbed a bunch of paper towels and he's squeezing the tail and dunk all the water out of the tail. So I told people, I said, instead of Petey the Pelican, just call me PP Petey.
Yeah, I get the point. You just saying, what have I done in life to be my age?
Right. I'm like, hey, dude,
I'm standing
the boss.
in a, I'm standing in a toilet stall with a pelican.
Why am I in the pelican costume?
I'm standing in a pelican outfit, dripping somebody else's urine.
Yeah, it was clean. It was clean.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
give it that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, so that's the last time I'm gonna be in a pelican costume.
nice job, Petey. Nice job.
Yeah.
It's over. Go home.